Hello. Welcome back to the very snowy stream. This is December 9th. We got about a foot of snow. I don't know. It looks maybe like about 8 or 10 inches here, but it's been a whole lot of snow. We have branches down, but the great part of this story I want to share with you is that this week, last week at this time, Butter was in the hospital. She was hospitalized for 5 days. Last Wednesday, the vet said she was in kidney failure. Her enzymes and the blood work was terrible. I brought her home Monday, and they gave her 2 to 4 days to live. So this was about the saddest thing I could imagine going through. But look who's here. Come here, buddy. Turn around.
Hey, Butter.
Okay. The reality is Butter made it. People prayed. We prayed. We prayed. We called forth a new liver. We called forth renewed blood. We called forth, dear Margaret Smathers, called forth that every day that had been allotted to Butter would be given to her. Her life would not be cut short. And all I can tell you is, I was thinking that probably under this snow, maybe Butter's little grave was going to be, but it didn't happen. And let me just walk a little bit. Let me tell you the rest of this story. Last Tuesday night, I was lying in bed, pre-dawn. It was dark, and I thought maybe Butter had died during the night, because among those prayers was that she would just pass gently in her sleep. And then I'd also had the name of somebody that comes here to the house and does end-of-life euthanasia pet. So I'm thinking I'm going to need to call that. And I heard a woof. And so I came down the stairs fast, and Butter was at the door wanting to go out. I let her out. I was amazed because she was up on her feet and moving. I put the tea kettle on. Then I remembered that somebody said, be really careful she doesn't go off into the woods, because dogs do that. They go off into the woods to die. So I'm thinking like, oh dear. So in my nightgown, in my robe, slippers, flashlight, it was dark, I'm out in the woods looking for Butter. Couldn't find her, nowhere. She actually came back. She came back, and she went right around to where her food and her treats are and sat down as if to say, I will eat now, thank you. After not eating for more than 5 days, or drinking, So all I could think of was, God absolutely had raised her up, and He had, and He did. And she was with us again. And I was so happy, and I was so, I was crying, it was great relief, it was gratitude, it was thanksgiving. And as I buried my nose and tears in her furry little neck, I felt the Spirit of the Lord ask me, what are you experiencing right now? And I just stopped all of the flood of emotions for a second to actually discern what I was thinking. And what it was sheer delight. I was so delighted that she was alive and wanting to eat again and back, and her eyes bright. I was delighted. It was delightful. And the Father at that moment, the Spirit, my Lord, however the information comes, and you know that you know that you know, I was given an instruction saying that my people should only go from, and these were the 2 words, and I'm sorry I did it nicely on a computer, but we've lost power, so I can't print it out. My people should only be either in joy or delight. Joy, the joy of the Lord as our strength, for the joy that was set before Him. Joy is everlasting. Joy is eternal. Joy has an immutability about it, a bedrock kind of everlasting quality about it. So joy is what we experience as a bottom base of everything. And then moments of delight moments of incredible bubbling forth of gratitude and happiness and amazement and wonderment. So between joy and delight. And I thought of all the times I'm not there. I'm in mild anxiety or trying to work it all out and figure it out, or stressed or whatever. So I'm encouraging you, and I bet if we call her, she'd come right now. Butter, come. Good girl. And when I looked at her that morning, Butter just said no. And the Spirit said no. And the Lord granted reprieve. And when I looked into her eyes, she absolutely that morning said to me, I am faithful. I'm true. I'm dependable. I'm here. I'm not leaving. You can trust me. You can trust me. Which is what God says to us. God says to us. So those of you who prayed for Butter, and I know many of you did, and some of you sent me condolences because it was so dire, but she made it. And, you know, we're all going to make it. The joy part is that we know the end of the book. The joy is everlasting. The joy is ultimate, eternal. And then there's delight. The delight of getting your dog back for Christmas.